We'll be going over the IRS Interactive Tax Assistant tool that helps U.S. citizens and resident aliens who may be married to a non-resident alien determine what their tax filing status is. So you don't really need much information. You need to know two things. One, whether or not you can claim someone as a dependent on your income tax return, and two, the percentage of the costs that you paid toward keeping up a home. So this interactive tax assistant tool should take about 5 minutes of your time. So let's go ahead and begin. So as with most of these tools that we've been going through recently, we're in the middle of the 2023 kind of waiting period before the tax filing season opens up. So the most recent version of this form or this walkthrough is for the 2022 tax year. So let's go ahead and select that. And as I like to tell people, anything that's in blue is fair game for you to click on it, which will open a different page so you can learn more about that topic. So for individual taxpayers, as an example, your tax year is considered to be a calendar year unless you maintain records based on a fiscal year. So for January 1st through December 31st of a given year, that's your tax year for most individuals. So the first question is, have you previously made a special election to file a joint return in which the non-resident alien spouse agrees to be treated as an alien, a resident alien for tax purposes? So let's imagine that you previously have done that. Do you and your spouse intend to file a joint tax return for the tax year? In this case, your tax filing status would be married filing jointly because you've already made that declaration and that applies for all later years unless it's suspended or unless it's ended either through revocation, where you take that decision back, a death, a legal separation, or by the IRS. So let's select no if you don't intend to file a tax return. So in this case, it goes a little bit deeper. Did your spouse live in your home for the last 6 months? So now temporary absences for illness, education, business, vacation, that still counts as living with you. So, and you're also reasonably expecting or assuming that that person will come home after the temporary absence. So let's say yes. So in this case, you would be married filing separately if you don't intend to file a joint tax return, but you're still living together. But let's change this to no. In this case, you would be asked, did you pay more than 1/2 of the cost to keep up your home? Did a qualifying person live with you in the home for more than half the year? What's a qualifying person? It could be a qualifying child, a relative who may be your mother or father, or a different relative such as a brother or a sister or a grandparent. So if you're a citizen or a national, a non-resident alien child that lived with you as a member of your household for the entire year and was either legally adopted by you or placed with you for legal adoption can be considered a qualifying person. Basically, if you've adopted a child or if you have a child that's lived with you, that person must be a U.S. citizen, a resident alien, a U.S. national, or a resident of Canada or Mexico. However, you can have a non-resident child meet that criteria. So let's say no. Did you pay more than 1/2 the cost for keeping up a home for your mother or father? So in this case, you would be married filing separately. But that begs the question, what would happen if you said yes? Can you claim your father or mother as a dependent? So in this case, you would be head of household because you're paying more than half the living cost for your mother or father. And as a qualifying relative, they don't necessarily have to live with you. For example, if you pay the entire cost for them to live in a nursing facility, then you obviously cannot live with them, but you would still be able to claim head of household status. Let's say that a qualifying person lived with you for more than half the year and you did pay more than half. You can claim them as a dependent. You're a head of household. So if you're so let's say that you have not previously made this election to file a joint tax return. Then in this case, it's going to ask you whether you intend to make that special election. And if you make that special election to file a joint return, and you intend to file a joint return, your status would be married filing jointly. And I think there's one last question in there that we can kind of explore together. Let's say you don't intend to make the special election, you don't intend to file a joint tax return, your spouse did not live with you, but you did pay more than half the cost, a qualifying person did not live with you. In that case, you would be married filing separately. So I think we covered all of the different decision branches. What I usually tell people at the end of this video is that I recommend you print off this review screen and you take a close look at it to make sure that the questions that you answer reflect the facts that, as you know them, because this is your chance to be able to go back and make that decision change. And again, if you decide on your filing status based on this and for some reason it's incorrect, the IRS may have some questions. You can always have this as documentation so that you know how to make that decision for the next time around. The IRS will still hold you accountable for taxes that you may have owed if you claimed a tax filing status that you weren't entitled to. However, if you show that you at least tried to do some due diligence and that you use the IRS research tool, you can at least lower the chances that you're going to get hit with, a negligence related penalty or accuracy related penalties that the IRS imposes on people that take a frivolous approach to filing their taxes. So keep a copy of this in your tax records, and that's all we have for this article. We have written a couple of articles that kind of talk a little bit about certain filing statuses. We'll put links to those in the show notes. But if there's a tax topic that you're interested in, specifically a tax form that you might have questions on, feel free to check out our website. Simply go to teachmepersonalfinance.com, go to the search bar, type in the name of the tax form that you're looking for, and odds are pretty good that we've written an article about it. So if you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. And if you like our YouTube videos and our tutorials, please subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, you can always post them in the comments section. And if there's a topic that you'd like me to cover in a future video, please hit me up there as well. Thank you very much and have a great day.